Once Human, a third-person open-world multiplayer survival game. Explore a post-apocalyptic future, solo or teamed up with friends, to fight strange creatures, collect resources, and build up your territory. Once, you were merely human. Now you have the power to remake the world. Whatever that means. I don't know. I didn't pay attention to the dialogue. It's all going away in 6 weeks anyway. What's the point? What do you mean they're going to reset the servers? What can I keep? Am I losing what I farmed? How long do I have left before everything goes away? Should I even keep playing? Okay, so I guess we'll start with the whole server wipe resetting thing. Once Human plans to reset servers every 6 weeks. You could compare the system to a game like Rust. In Rust, wipes are more drastic, occurring every month, with players losing everything except blueprints. Whereas Once Human, you will get to preserve some progress. With what players will lose during these wipes, or what they will get to keep, is not really clear at the moment. They do have a carryover system with the Eternal Land feature, but I honestly haven't messed around with that mechanic myself. And the language barrier between the English-speaking players and the Chinese dev team doesn't help. But from what I can tell, here's what you get to keep. Gear blueprints, cosmetics, furniture formulas, weapon accessories, mods, and some currencies season to season. I'm not sure about blueprints though. I'm guessing if they haven't announced it, then most likely they will not carry over. And what will you lose each season? I guess everything else not listed. Levels, materials, map progress, etc. As for like your houses or bases, I have no idea. Probably not though. As for my own opinion on the whole seasonal server wipes or resets, I think it's an overall good thing. You know, a game like Once Human is trying something a little different. And I think that's what we need from time to time. For video games like Once Human to try something different, no matter how big or small, every now and then. But will that work out in Once Human's case? I guess we'll see. I know I'll be back for next season, even if it's just to see what changes they do implement. For the visuals and gameplay, Starry Studio developing this game in Unreal Engine 5 makes whatever you're doing in game alright to look at. As for the music and sound, all I can say it's serviceable, until it's not. The early to mid game is pretty straightforward. It consists of following the map marker to a town hub, talking to a couple of NPCs and starting the quest line, with the occasional cutscene, with some pretty bad dubbing, or none at all. Completing quests until the game tells you to go activate some rift anchors in order to unlock the boss. At every rift anchor, there are a certain amount of area objectives, which mostly includes killing some creatures, searching and opening a couple of item chests, and the most important part of the game, in my opinion, or as I like to call them, Mr. Crates, baby. After you complete all the area objectives and activate enough rift anchors, you go and defeat the boss, unlocking higher level areas that drop higher level items, and so on, rinse and repeat. And all this while you're in the main game loop, you collect gear, materials, and pal-like creatures for your base. This is mainly the PvE system. As for the PvP system, I haven't really participated in that at all even. But from what I can tell, it's mostly a fight over valuable resources around the map, like oil. The devs did state that some seasons will be more PvP based, and I didn't really see a great incentive right now to do any PvP anyway, so I guess we'll see how that plays out in future seasons. I have around 50 to 60 hours of playtime, and I'm not quite max level yet, but I do have a good friend of mine that is max level, and I'm going to turn it to him to talk about his experience with Once Human's late to end game content.
My review for this game is, holy cow, mid into late game, this game has you thinking a lot, having you read a lot, and hopefully you remember what you did and how you got there. Get with this. This is my struggle. So the game has not only a ton of menus for you, you have many ways to team up with friends. You can add them individually, add them to a team, add them to a hive, add them to a ward band. Team and hive the same? I got no idea. There's no clear explanation. I know warband's more of a PvP side of the game. Another part of the game that they have you guessing and having to figure out is how many currencies they need in the game. You have your pay to win shops, pay money to buy gold tokens. The gold tokens purchase premium stuff, which are overly expensive in my opinion. Cosmetic currency, you got currency to unlock blueprints, guns and weapons. You got all these other tabs that if you don't check them regularly, you know you wouldn't have known that you can claim free stuff in the game. You have your little bird friend who, if you don't summon him ever again since the beginning when it first tells you, has its own type of currency. You got Star Chromes, Mitsuko's Mark, Energy Link currency, which all do different things, by the way. They don't all do the same thing or the same differences. They all do different things. So keep that in mind. My mid to late game experience has been a little bit frustrating on the building side, which I understand. It's a free game, and the buildings can look nice if you allow it to. A lot of the game has just been figure it out yourself. You have PvP events that happen around the world for mid to late game players in different areas. They're higher level players that you will PvP with are definitely going to be higher level. But once I got to level 35 and 40, I noticed that game has a huge jump in logic, taking you from a 32, oh, I can do 32 and 35 dungeons, and then going to a new area, just skip 10 levels, which I believe kind of mean, honestly, especially when you get to like 35 and 45, which I think they should have done dungeons by increments of 5 and not just 10. Same with the bosses too. Because once you do all the main missions and all the side quests, then you're having to struggle and scrounge up, go to these same dungeons again, rerun them, get your energy links so you can upgrade for better weapons and armor. Building in the game has been a nightmare. This looks nice right now because, of course, you're going to have the better memetics, you're going to have better items, better automation, better ways to get stuff. You figure out new ways to do everything. Oh gosh, there's just so many different currencies. It's the only thing I don't like about the game, honestly. You gotta know what does what for everything. This is has been my only struggle, and I'm still trying to get my other friend to understand what calibration is, how to get the blueprints for these. You can get blueprints by running dungeons, but you're not able to repair them because you're not going into your inventory, going to this blueprints tab and looking for blueprints that you can unlock. The game's pretty fun in general. It is a lot of grinding. I just wish there was more content as far as different types of missions, different types of enemies, different types of dungeons, maybe more puzzle ones, more enemies in some, or an arena type thing, which I guess is what the PvP is. You have events that have been happening around the world that allow you to get higher tier equipment. There hasn't been enough people in late game to be able to see a lot of the PvP aspects. So far, a lot of redundancy is what I'm saying. A lot of confusion and redundancy in the game. Once Human's not a bad game. It's hard to explain to newcomers on what things do what and how to get around in the game. But if you have someone who's in your team that knows what they're doing, it's actually pretty fun, I think. Having to automate your stuff, making better builds when you unlock higher tier tools and or equipment and infrastructure or items. Another fun part about the game that I found out was people will either really like your build or really hate it, depending on the neighborhood you live in. They'll leave little comments around, which I kind of find entertaining in my opinion, and some of them are just random. Some hate comments depending on your build, so people will judge you. The HOA is out there. It's just funny to see that people can leave comments inside your house. How did they get in? I'm not sure, but fun with friends. If you enjoyed Pal World, honestly, this is kind of just the same difference of that. A little bit of Warframe as far as dungeons and weapon equipment goes, as well as One Descendant. So it's got a little different types of vibes for everyone, whether you're a builder, a hunter, a team player, solo player, and the game will have you grinding like my Digby boy in no time until you get to level 50. I'll leave it to you guys to decide. I mean, the game has been so far well balanced. Just a lot of confusion for me, a lot of redundancy after a certain point, like most free games nowadays. But I give it 3 out of 5 in my take, honestly. I mean, the gameplay isn't bad. I haven't experienced anything or any true losses to my build. Thank you guys. You guys have a good rest of the evening. Hey, bye.
So, from a scale from I ate to tight, it's mostly tight. Mostly because of all what was discussed earlier, but overall the experience is free to play. I've been having a good time with Once Human, and as I said before, I do plan on seeing what this game has to offer in the coming seasons. And if you're interested too, go check it out. It's free, and make sure to like and subscribe to me if you haven't yet. And also sub to Chief as well, who helped me with this video also. Follow on his Twitch, links in the description. Thanks, guys. Bye. How's it going, you guys? That was our review for Once Human. So please subscribe if you guys like what you saw. And special thanks to my friend Chief. He really helped me out with this one. If you guys want to see more of our long form content, of course, Chief is on Twitch and I am also on Twitch also. So give us a follow and come hang out and chat with us. And if you guys have any recommendations for video games we should play and review, you can leave it down in the comments below. Yeah, if you guys made it this far in the video, thank you. And as far as these reviews go, I do plan on doing more. This one came out pretty quick, and Chief did a really good job on his end. So, and if he is playing the same game that I'm reviewing, I'll definitely bring him back on the next one. So, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.